Welcome. Today I have a real treat for you. So often we talk about the chemistry of why things work or the rationale of why a product was developed. But today I wanted to remind you that all successful business people have shared to get to the next level, you have to find ways to duplicate yourselves because you can only do so much in a day. But the question is, how do you find people that you can trust to represent you? A friend and colleague, Jamie Bells, represents the Nutritional Therapy Association, an organization you want to know about. They train people to spend the time with your clients reviewing diet, supplementation, and assisting with follow-up. This frees up your time for therapy and diagnostic evaluations. Welcome, Jamie. Thanks for joining us. Jamie, before you started working for the Nutritional Therapy Association, you actually took the course yourself, and I'm wondering what made you choose that course? I mean, there's lots of them out there.
Gosh, Joe, I actually found it by chance. Very, very, very God sent luck of the draw on that one. I was a personal trainer at the time, and I had just gotten into personal training. I was coming over from past director of marketing for a hospital, and then I came over to the wellness side, and this is where I was thriving. I really associated wellness with the physical fitness portion until I started working with clients. And I'd have people coming in and they're killing themselves a couple of hours a day sometimes and seeing zero progress. So I started thinking, all right, either I'm the worst personal trainer in the world or I'm really missing something. And I was missing the food side of fitness. And so I found the Nutritional Therapy Association first draw, which was such a lucky thing because I feel like the NTA is lumped into the mass volume of a heavily saturated market of nutrition credentials right now. People are starting to wake up. They're recognizing that we haven't been taught this stuff from elementary through our doctoral programs. We're not taught properly about food. And so I ended up going through the program, and I was delighted to find that, it's a course that it covers what we call the foundations of health. And so you're getting a crash course on your anatomy and physiology and really all of the things and how they come together as digestion, blood sugar regulation, nutrient dense diet, fatty acid balance, mineral balancing, hydration. You're getting all of these different lessons and all the factors that we consider the foundations of health. And so the NTA does it so uniquely so in that we have 3 starts per year, and you actually travel through this course, this journey with a cohort, with live instructors, and our completion rate is much higher than anyone else. I think statistically speaking, just the pay to play move through as your own pilot programs that they have available, it's like a 3 to 7% completion rate.
Really,
And
that low? Interesting.
it really, yeah, the on-demand courses, everybody's like, oh, I want to learn more about this, and they buy it, and then it just sits in an inbox somewhere or on a tab.
I've got a few of those, by the way.
I do too. But not with the NTP course. It was one of the best things I ever did for myself. I like to say we don't really have competition in this space where we have the perception of competition, but nobody's doing it like the NTA. That's why I came back and worked for them.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and that is that I've seen several NTAs and actually have hired a couple myself, you being one at one point. And every Nutritional Therapy Association person that is passionate about health. And you know what? That's so important. People are so lackadaisical and, they go through work but they don't have passion. And that's something that every NTA person that I've ever come in contact with, they're passionate about their health. And whether it's because they've changed their own health or a family member or whatever it might be, they're very passionate and it's very contagious. And that's something you just can't learn in a book.
You're absolutely right, Joe. And that is the truth. There's so many of our graduates, our entire graduate community is bursting with passionate parents who had a child who had some kind of a health issue, and they knocked on every door of conventional medicine, or they went through their own health journey, or with a spouse or a parent or somebody. But ultimately, they clawed their way to the ends of the earth with conventional medicine, only to find that, hey, look at this. Nobody's talked to you about my diet yet. Let's talk about nutrition. And something that's super unique about the NTA too, and why it's so long-standing and successful, is because it's focused on ancestral diets, nutrient-dense foods. I mean, this is common sense stuff, but it's just not even common anymore. But it's like, how are we preparing these foods? What's the soil? Like, are these foods bursting with life-giving properties, or are they dead foods that have been plucked from a nutrient deficient, source, all the way to all the processing that happens before it gets to your sparkly package with a barcode on it in the grocery store? Like, really focusing on what kinds of foods that we're eating, but also honoring the bio individual, because we're all so different. Somebody that, let's say, their entire ancestral heritage is Alaska Native, they're probably not going to do as well on, a higher carb diet as they will on, kind of the fats and proteins, a little more
Right.
carnivore type. Whereas you have somebody else who maybe grew up by the equator and they might thrive on, more plant-based. And this is what I love about the NTA too. It's all bio-individual. There is no one-size-fits-all approach, and every person is a case study of one. And that's what's really fun, is our practitioners love that exploration and helping people to figure out what is the perfect protocol for you right now, knowing that it will change.
Knowing it
It's,
might change, correct.
it
Now,
will, yeah.
you mentioned off camera that there was a new program, kind of a jumpstart program that you just started. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So, okay. So, the one that I've been talking about is our nutritional therapy practitioner program. And that is a year-long course that's instructor led. It's pretty intense. And so that's kind of our flagship program or credential. And then we just launched the Foundations of Healing course. Now, this one is the on-demand course, but it's 6 weeks long. It's a crash course for anybody who wants to get the sampling of all these foundations of wellness, and do that in just a quick 6 week plan.
So, a lot of our viewers are clinicians themselves. What if they wanted to find NTA practitioners? Is there a
Yeah.
place that you guys have a list or geographic
Yeah.
area?
Yeah.
How could they do that?
I love that, Joe. I spoke on this at the last EPIC conference, the Biotics EPIC conference. I spoke on the missing piece, and that's for every practice, for patients and practice success. The missing piece is that nutrition component. And we're all stretched way too thin. So if you bring somebody in, one of our practitioners that's so passionate and knowledgeable, and they can help your patients or clients to level up, because everything that you do will work better if the body is nutrient sufficient. And so having a practitioner, you can find them on our practitioner directory. There's the answer that you were looking for. I just made it
Okay.
too
Okay.
long-winded. But our practitioner directory is on our website. And you can go and find somebody either virtually or in person to work with you and help, again, to succeed all the way around.
We've got all that information to the right, NTA information, how people can find it. Jamie, you're a blessing. I appreciate you as always.
Thank you so much, Joe.